Where do we even begin, ladies and gentlemen? The Chicago Bears under Matt Eberflus find yet another way to lose a football game. Let's talk about it. Bear down. What a horrible morning if you are a Chicago Bear fan here today. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's like the hottest topic in the sports world, at least in the NFL world, is the Chicago Bears' disastrous performance overall, and more importantly, on the last play of the drive of the game to give Jaden Daniels and the Commanders the Hail Mary reception for a win with 2 seconds left on the clock. It is no other way to say it. There's no other way to go around it, but besides calling it what it is, and it is a lack of coaching, lack of preparation, lack of situational football, like the great Bill Belichick always preaches. The Bears with Matt Eberflus lack situational awareness. We don't have that. We don't got that. Look, facts are the facts. Matt Eberflus, man, I love him as a defensive mind. He's done a great job turning the ball around, at least for the defensive side of the ball, turning the game around, bringing back some of the tenacity back on the defensive side of the ball. No Kyler Gordon, no Jaquan Brisker. Those are huge losses. We know that, but you got 2 weeks to prepare for that. And this is the performance that we put up. It's mind boggling. It flat out sucks if you're a Chicago Bear fan, man. This is like the last time I felt this type of way was in the playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles, the double doink. I don't know what we're going to call this one, but it's embarrassing to have walked out the way that they did off that field because despite struggling, despite the offense doing absolutely nothing for just about 3 quarters, you still found a way to take the lead. You still found a way to win the game. Caleb Williams still had 2 crucial drives at the end to win you the football game. And we failed it. The defensive side that did a great job overall. The epitome of bend don't break. You allow 12 points to the Commanders, who's one of the hottest teams in the NFL, a top 3 scoring team, points per game. They average over 30 points a game, something like that. You allow them to 12. You make 2 more plays. You win this game. There is absolutely no excuse for Matt Eberflus to allow the offense of the Commanders to get about 10, 15 yards, whatever it was, to put themselves in a position for a Hail Mary. There's no excuse for that. Why are we giving those yards up? It is truly frustrating to see what the Bears did. And it's almost like the Bears are now going to just bear, right? We always laughed. We always talked about the Lions. That was what it was. That was their culture. The Lions are going to lion. But we got to be honest with ourselves, man. The Bears fail when it comes to being aware of the situation. Matt Eberflus, you're 3-17 on the road as the head coach of this football team. I understand it takes time. I understand there's a lot of changes and a lot of turnover from when Ryan Poles took over this whole team and all that good stuff. But enough is kind of enough, man. You have to win those games in these crucial moments. This is what propels you to the next level. This is what makes you ready for a playoff type of game. And it was somewhat of a playoff atmosphere, right? This is a team you could run into in the playoffs if you somehow manage to make it there. But these are the teams that are you're going to be running into. You know, it's not Will Levis that's going to turn the ball over to you, that's going to give it to you and help you win the game. It's quarterbacks like Jaden. It's teams like the Washington Commanders who have a great offensive line. They had struggles of their own too. I believe they lost both of the left tackles. Cliff Kingsbury played with coached with a chip on his shoulder. You could tell, you could just tell that he wanted to make a statement. And again, we only allowed 12 points. The Chicago Bears defense did their job. You needed it just one more time. There's absolutely no excuse for the Bears to allow a Hail Mary to even happen. The one thing I don't understand, and not too many people have talked about it, is, and I would like answers to this, and I haven't seen it. At least I haven't seen any of it. I haven't even heard it. Um, but was Montez Sweat injured? Was Austin Booker hurt? Darrell Taylor, was he not available? Why are your best pass rushers not even in the game on the last play of the game? I understand their offensive line is going to double team these three guys because you're only rushing three, but why not? Javante Dexter, I'm cool with that in the middle. He's a big guy. He could get to the quarterback. He is one of the best defensive tackles in the league, at least on the rise. But on the edge, how do we rely on Demarcus Walker and Jacob Martin to be the guys to get to him? And there's been a couple of different takes that I've heard about the TJ Edwards. It looks like he's spying on Jaden Daniels. It's also been said that he's actually just playing the running back in case he leaks out. Um, cool, whatever. That alone, you already gave yourself 10 players out on the field because they need 60 yards or whatever it was for them to win the game. And then you have, man, I hate to say it, I'm a fan of Tyreek Stevenson. I like him coming out of Miami. He's proven himself, and you kind of expected the Commanders to attack him. He's the guy that's been dealing with an injury. He's kind of the weak spot in that secondary, especially with no Kyler Gordon, no Brisker with the help support or whatever. They attacked him. They got to him. And Stevenson made some plays. He made some game-saving, touchdown-saving tackles as well. Shoelace tackle when Terry McLaurin went over the top, almost had himself a touchdown. So he made a couple of those plays, but it was idiotic what he did. He cost you the game, let alone just talking and turning around to the fans in the stands. I'm sure a lot of us have already seen that video. It's mind-boggling, man. And that type of stuff falls on the coaching. You as a coach, how do you not see that your guy's got his back to the ball? We have all three timeouts. Call a timeout. Get these boys ready. Hey, we got one more play. Let's get organized. The guys in the middle are just communicating. They're talking. It almost seems like they're just all over the place. We've also seen a lot of teams put their offensive weapons out there on the field in a scenario like that. Get a big guy over there that you can go up and get it and help with those jump balls or whatever. You know, why not Cole Kmet get himself an opportunity, someone like that, to just go up there and contest the Hail Mary? Why not? Don't even get me started though, because we know that the Hail Mary shouldn't even happen, man. You allowed them, you let them get those 10, 15 yards, 13 yards, whatever it was, to get themselves in a position to win the game. And that just falls on coaching. And I'm really going to be interested to find out what the Chicago Bears do from here on out. Is this going to be the turning point of the season that's going to be make or break? What is it going to be? The team, we're going to see if they can respond. Are you going to get your act together? And Stevenson issued an apology to fans and to his teammates via Twitter, X, whatever you call it these days. But anyways, he did that. Cool, whatever. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. The damage has already been done. But it's like, are you going to? Are you going to really play for 4 quarters? Play all those minutes? Or are we going to just give up, slack off, get our foot off the gas? We don't have the team right now that we can get our foot off the gas in any aspect of the game. We're not built like that. And I've said it here in this podcast plenty of times. The Bears are a team that can compete each and every week. This could be a touchdown, one possession game. That's the type of team we have right now. We don't have a team that's going to just take over completely and dominate, especially when your offense is still learning, your offense is still growing. Shane Waldron seems like he's just learning on the job, making some questionable play calls. And I'm not as mad as the rest of the fans are. I see a lot of people are super mad about the Eric Kramer playing fullback, getting an opportunity to punch it in. Look, right after the fumble happened, the only turnover in the game, right, which is huge. But regardless, right after that fumble happens, your defense once again does the job. 3 and out. Jaden Daniels and that offense is not able to close the deal. You get the ball back. If anything, cool. We lost more play. We lost more time in the clock. You give yourself that opportunity to go down the field. Caleb and the offense were doing just that, clicking when they needed to, getting the points when they needed to. But you left too much time on the clock apparently for that offense, and it's a red hot offense. You left too much time on the clock, and that's kind of what just happens. Again, situational football. We need answers, man. We need answers. And Matt Eberflus, I feel like took the easy route, right? Especially if you heard this morning, he didn't blame it or he didn't take responsibility for allowing the Commanders to the second to the last play get some of the yardage to put themselves in position for that Hail Mary to be thrown. As the head coach, man, if I'm a player on that team, I would like my head coach to take responsibility for it, to understand the situation that, hey, even Tony Romo's talking on the TV, hey, just don't allow them to go out of bounds, blah, 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 put themselves in position to make a Hail Mary attempt despite Jalen dealing with a rib issue. Don't get him closer. And we did just that. As a head coach, I would like him to take responsibility for that and say, hey, I shouldn't have allowed that to happen. We shouldn't have allowed them to get 10 yards and make it easier for them. I mean, you're smart enough to understand he's not going to throw an 85-yard Hail Mary. So why are we all the way back already playing in that prevent defense for it instead of protecting the sidelines to not allow that last play to happen and occur? Man, it's frustrating as a Chicago Bear fan. We know that. We've seen that. We fall short when it matters most. But these are the growing pains, man. This is the type of stuff that builds character as a team. It's going to make or break you. Chicago Bears, what are you guys going to do? Bear fanatics, we got to stick it out. We've been here plenty of times. We know what it's like. It's time. It's time to put their big boy shoes on. Arizona Cardinals are next up. The number one team in the NFC West, 4-4. They've had struggles of their own, despite they just had a good game. They came off a win against the Miami Dolphins, but they've been struggling also. What are we going to do? It's make or break time. No more excuses. No more time. I understand we want time. We want time. We understand it takes time. But, man, we're in week 9 already. And our division's not getting any easier. Vikings are losing. That's cool, whatever. The Lions continue to dominate. Green Bay continues to find ways to win football games. Put your big boy shoes on. It's time to roll. It's time to ride. We're going to see what happens. It's a crazy what a crazy game. We'll break a little more down later, man. This is more of a rant or whatever you want to call it, but more frustration as a Bear fanatic. Please leave your comments down below. I know a lot of you guys feel the same way. I'm sure I missed a lot out, whatever scenarios, cases. But this is just a quick rant, man. I don't know. It is what it is, man. Regardless, we're going to stay locked in. We're not going to hide. We're going to be here. Bear fanatics, man. Keep rocking your Bears merch. It is what it is, man. We're going to bear down through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Bear down.